This is a 2-minute introduction to women business owners of Eldon Street, a short animated film scripted by Gemma Whelan and produced by Monkie Ltd for Barnsley Museums. The film itself is 6 minutes long. The film visits the bustling retail district of Eldon Street at the beginning of the 20th century, introducing us to the shops and to the women who ran them. The animation is simple, two-dimensional in muted block colour, but with the stylistic jerk and crackle characteristic of early silent films. At intervals, sepia-toned title cards appear, their heavily ornamented script announcing names and locations. These and any other textual information will be integrated into the description. We visit 3 shops over the course of the film. All 4 of the women whose stories we hear are white. W. Haig, the drapers, is run by sisters Annie and Eliza. The shop is small and neat, the walls lined with tiny drawers for buttons and pins, bolts of coloured fabric lined up on the counter. The women wear practical white blouses with full-length skirts. Eliza's a dark blue floral pattern, Annie's a warm russet. Eliza wears her dark hair pinned up, Annie's blonde curls are loose. Next door, the proprietor of A. Porter & Sons, a general or department store, is Anne. She is a stout older woman, a widow with grown children. Her brown hair is worn short, and there is a full-length white apron over her green dress. Her establishment is quite grand, hats on stands, glassware in cases, a potted palm in the centre of the room. Lastly, Elizabeth Smith, owner of the Umbrella and Leather Goods Emporium, is a fashionable young woman, her dark hair tucked beneath a hat embellished with ribbons, and wearing a button-fronted emerald green dress with a nipped-in corseted waist. Her small wood-panelled shop is hung with umbrellas of every colour. Title card. Barnsley Museums presents Women Business Owners of Eldon Street. Barnsley, early 1900s. Eldon Street, a busy and vibrant retail quarter. Shops full of the finest items, from jewellery to jackets, hosiery to hats. A sepia sketch of the Yorkshire Penny Bank fades to colour as we track past a horse and carriage, a penny farthing bicycle, toward a parade of shops.
Let me walk with you as you stroll down one of Barnsley's most historic streets. You can stop and breathe in its history. In the past, Eldon Street and its Victorian arcade bustled with businesses and people, and the echoes of that time are stitched into the historical tapestry. Many of those echoes are the voices of women. The women who were the beating heart of Barnsley and who laid the foundations we still stand on today.
We pause outside W. Haig & Co. Drapers. A card announces Eliza and Annie Haig. Inside the shop, both women.
Good morning. We'll be with you in a moment.
Close the door. The wind is up today.
Oh, you look surprised. Were you expected to be served by a gentleman? I'm Miss Eliza Haig, and this is my sister, Miss Annie Haig. You mustn't be local. You'll find many female faces behind the shop facades. We come from a long line of hard-working women.
It's the way of it round here. Many of these shops are leased by women. You go to Mary Squire's for blouses. She has the best lace outside of Nottingham. She works ever so hard in a shop and goes home to take care of her mother.
Miss Emily and Miss Polly, they're sisters, like us. They have the toy shop. It is wonderful, crammed with tinkering toys and fancy goods.
Now, Elizabeth Smith. She sells umbrellas and other goods. I bought the most beautiful peacock blue scarf from Smith's last Christmas.
And if you want confectionery, Lily Baines is where you need to visit. It's number 7, the arcade.
Her fudge is delicious.
And for tobacco, Miss Sherwood and Miss Cooper are tobacconists. And you could write a book about what they know about tobacco.
Then you have Mrs. Porter at A. Porter's & Sons. You can get anything and everything you need there.
Apart from fine cloth. For that, you come to us.
Best in Barnsley.
So, what can I get for you this morning?
Back outside, a large shop, A. Porter & Sons, glass and china merchants. A card, Anne Porter. Inside, she stands by the counter.
A. Porter & Sons. The A stands for Anne. That's me. I'm not daft. I knew that the business wouldn't be taken seriously to begin with if they thought it was a woman at the head. I live in a time where the measure of a woman is marked by the man she weds, until he dies. And if you're clever, you can become more than just his widow. You can step out of his shadow and become what they call self-made. I had this notion to create a place for women built and run by a woman. My mother used to say folk aren't afraid of a woman who has a mind until she speaks it. I don't see myself as a trailblazer for business. I see myself as a pioneer for women. I opened a shop where women could come and be seen, no longer be invisible. A place where all women could get everything they need in one store. Be that this season's fashion, a pan for the kitchen, or just to sit with a cup of tea and biscuit. You'll find anything a lady needs here for a reasonable price, and all with the porter's seal of satisfaction, of course. People often say, aren't you fortunate, Anne, to have such good sons to help you? And that's true, I am. But they are my legacy. And I hope what I built here will continue long after I'm gone. But for people to follow on, someone has to lead. And that's why the sign above my door has my name first. A. Porter and Sons.
Get them horses down to the yard.
Back on the street, a card. E. Smith's Fancy Leather Goods and Umbrellas. Inside, a trim young woman in a smart hat.
Are you shopping for yourself? How can I help this morning? I'm Elizabeth Smith. This is my shop. You're fortunate to catch me. I've just got back from station. I was collecting new stock. No need to look surprised. There's not 1 inch of this shop I don't know. Not an item I ain't checked, and a face I don't remember. But I've not met you before. Did you see my advert in the paper? Or was it my fancy new enamel sign? That weren't cheap. It definitely weren't a bargain. It's a sign of the times that you can no longer rely on word of mouth. It's one thing having customers return time and time again because of the quality of your products, but if you really want to be seen, you need to put yourself in the chronicle. I don't use my first name in paper because I don't want people to be put off, and that's just good business sense. Here at Smith's, we cater for both ladies' and gentlemen's needs. I think one of the skills of a woman is that she has a keen eye for both men and women's fashion. Looking at you, I can see you are in the market for a new leather bag, and that umbrella has seen better days. It's neither use nor ornament. Let me show you this season's best. They arrived from Manchester only last week, and I have been told they are what can be found in the shops in Paris. I'll be right back.
Outside, we sweep along the streets to where Annie, Eliza, Anne and Elizabeth stand together. They fade to sepia and vanish. Credits: Women Business Owners of Eldon Street. Eliza Haigh was played by Anna Sykes, Annie Haigh by Tilly James, Anne Porter was played by Gemma Whelan, and Elizabeth Smith by Elizabeth Ellis. Other vocals by Becky Newbold, Jacob Martin, Harry West and Stanley Hurst. Written by Gemma Whelan. Sound recording by Grant Henderson. Illustrated, animated and produced by Monkie Ltd, with the help of Barnsley Museums, Barnsley Borough Council and Historic England. Based on original research by Hannah Harrison, with thanks to Barnsley Archives. The dialogue in this film is all imagined, but based on research into real shop owners from Eldon Street's past. Produced as part of the Eldon Street Heritage Action Zone. Audio description by Jane Ensel for VocalEyes.